Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, February the 1st. There's been an uptick in the strength of the El Nino across the tropical part of the Pacific Ocean in recent days, all due to kind of a change in the overall wind pattern. A westerly wind event is helping to strengthen El Nino. I do believe it will continue on its general decline over the next several weeks, but for this particular week or two, it has again had a spike in strength, and that in turn is helping to helping to enhance the southern branch of the jet stream. We'll see in a moment here, powerful jet stream flowing from west to east across the Pacific Ocean, pushing tons of moisture into the west coast. California is now getting hit by a storm number one. That particular El Nino-enhanced storm system will plow to the south and east over the next several days and have a big impact all the way from California to Florida. There will be a second storm system that moves into California on Sunday. That too would then move basically from west to east across the southern states, across the southern branch of the jet stream. Here is one teleconnection index we don't look at too often around here, but this is what's called the Southern Oscillation Index. Is calculated by taking the pressure differences of a couple of locations down in the Pacific area, Darwin in Australia and Tahiti. And the more the negative this index goes, the stronger the El Nino. And look at this trend over the last several days. This is a daily update to SOI, and it's just gotten more and more negative over the past several days. Again, that is suggestive that the El Nino is indeed going through a spurt, and that in turn is helping to enhance the jet stream across the Pacific Ocean, and in turn the storms that will plow into California not only over the next couple of days, but a second storm later this weekend into the early part of next week. So again, quite an impressive decline in the SOI over the last few days. Well, here's a look at the latest sea surface temperature anomalies across the Pacific Ocean. You remember about a week or so ago I showed the same kind of a map, and at that time there was a pretty widespread, much more impressive area of colder than normal conditions right in this region. This, by the way, is the equator right along this latitude, and indeed that has kind of dissipated a bit, the colder than normal conditions, and El Nino has intensified. Again, that's all due to like a change in wind pattern in this particular part of the world. A westerly wind helps to pile up some of the warmer waters over that equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean. So indeed, El Nino has strengthened. That in turn is really activating the jet stream right in this region right here. We'll see in a moment here on a computer forecast model. Basically, a powerful west to east jet stream across the Pacific Ocean is helping to push tons of moisture to the U.S. West Coast. This is being referred to as the atmospheric river or pineapple express, whatever the case may be. Very strong jet stream pushing Pacific moisture into the U.S. West Coast, not only with this immediate storm system, but a second one coming on Sunday into Monday for the West Coast, and then rides right along the southern branch of the jet stream across the southern states, and it will have an impact all the way to Florida by later in the upcoming weekend. And here's a look at that powerful jet stream over the Pacific Ocean. We're focused on the Pacific Ocean with this particular map viewpoint here. California right here, and these winds in the upper part of the atmosphere, we're talking about 250 millibar level all the way up to 150, 160, 170 knots right here, and just pouring some moisture from the Pacific Ocean into the U.S. West Coast. California, no doubt several inches of rain in the low-lying areas over the next couple of storms. This storm and the next one on Sunday into Monday. Also, no doubt, localized flooding. Higher elevation locations such as the Sierra Nevada, several feet of snow over the next several days, and then it continues to move basically west to east across the southern states, and we'll push this forward here and watch this jet streak kind of buckle a little bit. This is now for tomorrow afternoon and all the way into the weekend, and then into the day on Sunday. A second El Nino enhanced storm system will pound into California on Sunday, the second one, and that might not be the end of it. We have a very active time period coming up for the first couple of weeks of February. That jet stream kind of slides to the east, and here we are by the time we get to Tuesday of next week, a little buckling here across the middle of the nation, and then another jet streak here. By jet streak, I mean a smaller area of enhanced winds in the overall jet stream. Jet stream kind of refers to the large-scale pattern of upper-level winds. Jet streaks are those maximum areas, smaller maximum areas of winds in that overall jet stream. Here's another one moving in about a week from now. This is next Thursday into the Pacific Ocean. So indeed, the overall active weather pattern looks like it'll continue for the U.S. West Coast. Now let's take a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly maps for the continental U.S. here using the 0Z run of the GFS. And kind of a pattern here we might want to get used to with an upper level trough, an upper level ridge, and an upper level trough. Basically that omega blocking type pattern that we've discussed here before, where these upper level winds kind of mimic the Greek letter omega. It's a blocking pattern. It's what we call an omega block, so systems move quite slowly in this kind of a pattern, and it makes for a difficult forecast. And we'll see in a moment here quite a difficult forecast for the mid-Atlantic coastlines and perhaps especially the New England coastline for this first storm system that slides all the way across the country. It kind of spins around, rotates around, and may back in and have an impact on the northeast U.S. coastline. We'll talk about that in a moment here, but let's move forward here. And here comes this storm system, number one, pounding California already. Again, a lot of rain, low-lying areas, a lot of snow, higher elevation locations. This slides all the way across the deep south over the next couple of days. And here we are by the time we get to Sunday morning. There certainly can be some severe thunderstorm activity in the deep south. Florida, for example, could have the threat of severe thunderstorms, even tornadoes later in the weekend associated with this storm system. There's a very strong upper level ridge, higher heights than normal, very strong upper level ridge sitting over central Canada by the latter part of the upcoming weekend. And here's where the difficulty comes in with respect to forecast. And notice there's another upper level low over New England by Monday afternoon, and we'll kind of backtrack and watch again the movement of that. Kind of backs in to the southwest, and these two features may tend to rotate around each other, and so still have to monitor this system closely for mid-Atlantic coastline. I would say anywhere from Delmarva, New Jersey, all the way up to the Maine coastline for the early part of next week. Again, this is El Nino-enhanced system number one, and here comes system number two early next week. Sunday, Monday time frame, it starts to impact California, and here we are now by the middle part of next week. And again, kind of that omega blocking pattern here. So all systems, whether be it high pressure or low pressure, will be slow movers and strong. They typically are very strong in this kind of a blocking pattern here. So absolutely have to continue to monitor this system off the eastern seaboard by the early part of next week, especially along coastal sections right here from the Mid-Atlantic all the way up to Maine for this first system that could have an impact along the east coast, the northeast coastline, Monday, Tuesday time frame. Well, let's now wrap up with the surface forecast maps, again using the 0Z run of the GFS. Kind of an interesting event here, by the way, in the short term. Later on tonight, kind of an intensifying frontal system or a clipper type of system that you'll see this little band of precipitation here intensify in the overnight hours, and we're talking late tonight into early tomorrow. Looks like primarily rain right across this region in the wee hours of the morning all the way into the early morning hours on Friday. But It's quite chilly in the upper part of the atmosphere, so don't be surprised if there's some snowflakes mixed in at times, especially in those normally colder northern and western suburbs of the big cities of D.C., Philadelphia, and New York City. I have to keep an eye on it because it's timed with the Friday morning commute time. So again, kind of an interesting small scale feature here late tonight, early tomorrow morning. That pushes away, tends to dry out. May actually get back-to-back days of genuine sunshine in the Mid-Atlantic region this weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Has not happened in quite a while. It's been a very gloomy time period indeed. So this first system slams into California over the next couple of days, moves across the Rocky Mountain states. This is now the Saturday morning forecast map. All the higher elevations in the Rockies, look out, you'll get some snow. That's good news for skiers. It moves to the south and east and has a big impact on the deep south. Certainly can look for some severe thunderstorm activity along the Gulf Coast and into Florida over the weekend. Here we go into Sunday afternoon. Watch out, Florida. This could be kind of a severe weather outbreak kind of a day, perhaps a tornadic activity in Florida. And here comes storm number 2 into California. Again, remember, all these low-lying areas along coastal California, several inches of rain between these two storms by the early part of next week. Sierra Nevada, higher elevation locations of eastern California, several feet of snow with these two systems coming in over the next several days. And here we go. By early next week, Monday morning, this first system slows down in that omega blocking upper level pattern, and we just have to watch what happens here. We have that second upper level low over New England that could back into the west and southwest and cause some snow, especially across the New England coastline. And eventually they'll phase together. And look at this, by the time we get to Wednesday morning, a powerful, powerful western Atlantic storm system. Have to monitor this closely along the New England coastline, if only for these winds. Look at this pressure gradient here between this strong high pressure to the north and east across southeastern Canada and this powerful storm system. That is a tight pressure gradient. That is a scary looking pattern for winds over New England, maybe down to the mid-Atlantic coastline by the middle part of next week. So this is a very slow mover. Already this storm is pounding away at California here on Thursday, and we'll have to deal with it all the way into the middle part of next week along the northeastern U.S. coastline. We'll move forward here, and this second storm system then slides into the middle part of the nation by next Thursday. This is a week away, and look, we're still dealing with this storm system in the northwestern part of the Atlantic a week from now, all the way out to next Thursday, February 8th. So El Nino is playing a role here, and this is not too unusual with El Nino-enhanced storm systems hitting California. It's happened in numerous El Nino winter seasons going all the way back to 69, 70, 77, 78, 1982, 83. All had El Ninos, all had enhanced storm systems that pounded away at California. And certainly two of these type of storms will hit the U.S. West Coast over the next several days, and then will have an impact on the northeastern U.S. coastline after it impacts the southern U.S. all the way to Florida later this week. And that's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.